Well, welcome everyone. How are you? My name is Michelle Gardner Ince, aka GI, and it's my pleasure to just talk with you this morning and encourage you to get going on or continue, I should say, your networking and your engagement. And we have a distinct honor this afternoon to talk with Mr. Ron Pierce about minority business, enterprise, and small disadvantaged business success within the Department of Energy. So with that, I just want to tell you a little bit about who I am. I am a Air Force veteran, 27 years, a military brat of a U.S. Army veteran, went to Tuskegee, and I have been in the entrepreneurial space most of my adult life through the Air Force, and you'll see the X there. That's the military exchange or the military department stores. And I now work in my day job as the director of the Women Veteran Owned Small Business Initiative. But today, it's not about me, it's about you and about Mr. Ron. So, what I'd like to ask you to do is encourage you, if you're able to introduce yourself to the folks in the chat, tell your name, your business, link to your LinkedIn profile so you can start your networking or continue it. And I know you're doing a lot of that on the app, but if you also have the opportunity to do it in the chat, please do that. If you ask a question, please let us know who you are and what kind of business you're in, your location, your capabilities, etc. I want to also encourage you to ask questions as you see fit, and you can do a comment, ask questions, connect, or just conversate. And then we'll have spent some time with most of our time with Mr. Ron Pierce, and then if we have time, we're going to do some Q&A. But most importantly, it doesn't. It may start here, but it doesn't end here, and it's going to be all about leveraging the resources and the information that Mr. Ron Pierce is going to share, and to stay connected and engaged. And so today it's my distinct honor for you to meet, because a fireside chat is a little different than an interview. It really is about just conversation. And I find that, in the small business community, there is a plethora of information. But what we really need is conversation. And that conversation leads to a better understanding of how you can set yourself up for success, and that's why Mr. Ron Pierce is here. He's the director of the OSDBU, or the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization at the Department of Energy. How are you, Mr. Ron?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good. He has a distinguished background, of just really impacting the community in various ways. He is a Army veteran, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And he went to the Distinguished Army West Point, which, if you know about the odds of getting in that, it takes a congressional recommendation. And he spent some time at the Democratic National Convention, as well as the public broadcasting service or system. So anyway, he has been an independent management consultant. He has spent, 5 years almost working in PBS and focused on bringing visibility and focusing on the importance of the veteran and small business communities. And then, as I said, he's been at the Army. He spent 11 years as a combat veteran, and that is really important because many of us are veterans. I'm a veteran, but I am not a combat veteran, if you will. And he was a commanding officer with 150 people working for him, and that is more than most people have working for them in their entire adult working time. But then he has a degree, as I said, from West Point and Stanford and the Naval Postgraduate School. And let's show some appreciation for an amazing leader who's committed to not only veterans, but the minority community and the small business community. Welcome, and you can see here how to stay in contact with him. So with that, this fireside chat is really going to give us an opportunity to get into the mind and heart of the Department of Energy, as well as Mr. Pierce. And as their secretary said, this conference definitely aligns with this quote from their secretary, Jennifer Granholm, where she talks about forging stronger bonds with HBCUs and minority institutions, and just cultivating, the strength of the U.S. competitiveness or the economy through these underserved communities. So with that, we're going to get on with the conversation, Mr. Ron, and it's over to you. I'm going to stop sharing just so we can see each other, and then I'm going to um, come back to it. Let's see here. So I can see you. How are you today?
I'm doing well and excited to be here.
Good. Likewise. So if you will, just kind of before we get started, just share a little bit of your vision with the community about, you're recently appointed. You come from a very distinguished background. Clearly, whoever hired you, appointed you, knew that you were the right man for the right time. Just tell the community a little bit about your heart and your passion for this area before we get into some questions.
Well, thank you again, Michelle, for having me, and I'm excited to be at this summit. So if you take nothing away from this chat, I want you to know that myself and my office, we're advocates for minority small businesses within the Department of Energy. My goal is to expand that pie, expand the opportunities for small businesses, particularly minority small businesses, to do business with the Department of Energy. And so our goal within the office is, even though we're small, we're staff, I have a team of 18 federal employees, and our focus are on 5 socioeconomic categories. So it's Hub Zone, 8A, service disabled, veterans, women, and minority businesses. And it's to increase awareness, be transparent with the opportunities that are out there across the vast Department of Energy. We're located in just about every state, 23 national labs, where the bulk of our contracting opportunities are there. And even though this office, I cannot give out a contract, I can make sure, and it's my job to facilitate and point minority businesses in the right direction, contact you with the appropriate people. So I am your advocate within the office. We will make sure, as you've already seen, but again, let you know how you can get in touch with myself and my team and help us and make us do our job. And our job, again, is to facilitate awareness, transparency. Since coming on board back end of January this year, one of the major initiatives that we'll talk more about that I've been focused on is simplifying and standardizing and making it more transparent for small businesses, because little known secret, our national labs are important. And if I could grant one wish to every taxpayer is to have them visit the national labs. We do some great stuff there. But they each are doing things a little bit differently. And that's not user friendly. And the users are you, the small business owners, minority small business owners out there. So I've taken on an initiative to standardize that and simplify that. So when you want to do business with Berkeley Labs out in California, it looks the same if you want to do business at Princeton in New Jersey. or Sandia down in Savannah, or it's a strategic petroleum initiative in Louisiana, or somewhat in the Huntsville backyard, Oak Ridge, one of the first national labs in Tennessee. So to standardize that, make you more aware of it, simplify so you can get in the door, and it looks the same to do business at Oak Ridge as it might be out in Berkeley. So that's my initiative. That's my passion here. And looking forward to sharing more information.
Wow. Well, I'll say it's a great, because we're military, we talked a little earlier about all these acronyms and everything, that's new when you come to the federal government, and people may think, even if you've been in the federal government or in the military, you know all the acronyms, but the reality is we don't. And so what I heard is that, you want to simplify things and standardize, and I'm going to say that's the Ron Pierce SNS model. He is he is he is he is deploying an SNS strategy across the Department of Energy, enterprise, and I applaud you for that, because most of, if I talk about or think about the Executive Order 13985 about, embracing and removing barriers and burdens to underserved communities, much of that is about that SNS strategy, right? It's about that,
Right.
demystifying this thing we call federal government. And so, I know you all have some strategies, some things that you're doing under the Equity Action Plan. And I think, if there is a legacy to be left, that when you, go on to your next and better season, they will say the SNS strategy made, a way for thousands of underserved community vendors. I think that's huge. But tell us a little bit more about some of the things that are happening that you're focused on in the equity action plan at DOE.
Yes. And just to step back just a little bit
Mhm.
in
Sure.
regards to Michelle, you know this, and it's my background. So when we serve, we had the KISS, keep it
Yes.
simple, stupid. And so as we spoke prior, I thought I'd seen all the acronyms possible when coming into DOE from a veteran or military background. Not the case. DOE and most federal agencies have their own language. So demystifying is important. And I try to use the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. Tell me what you want to tell
Absolutely.
me up front. Tell me
Yes.
again in the middle. Tell me
Yes.
again at the end.
Yes.
One of the things, so having said that, one acronym that I will give you, and I want the audience to take away, is SBPM. That's hard to say as an acronym, but it stands for Small Business Program Managers.
Hmm.
And that those individuals are your key and lifeline to be made aware of opportunities across the national labs, and they can point you in a direction, tell you how to tweak your proposal, assist you in getting awards. So that's a big proponent of the equity action plan that I must say I'm very excited to work at DOE and with Secretary Granholm, because as you shared on the screen at the beginning, Secretary Granholm has embraced the Equity Action Plan 13985 from day one, has talked about it, cheerled about it, and started to institute it in the DOE system, and it's taking root. So as long as we have the opportunity to serve in this administration, we are going to significantly talk about that, make improvements to it, and encourage it. The main thing within our equity action plan, and just so you know, it's not just here in DOE, that executive order is taking place in every
Absolutely.
federal agency. And each federal agency has to produce an equity action plan. And it's not just on paper in black and white. We then have to report back to the White House the progress that we're making. One of the things that we're doing within the action plan here within the Department of Energy, we want to be a data-driven entity. So we are tracking and begun tracking who these contracts and awards are going to, all right? And we are increasing every year the percentage of awards that go to minority businesses, to women businesses, to service disabled businesses. So we are tracking that, and the national labs have to track that, report that back to us. So per quarter, we can check and see, oh, our goal was to be at a certain percentage, but we're not there. What are you doing to get to this area? So we're tracking it data-driven. Two, we're using entities like the Minority Business Development Agency. That's the second acronym that I want you to take away from here today. If it's nothing else you do, is to visit our website, find a directory for the small business program managers. And then number two, if you're not already there, sign up and start working with the Commerce Department Minority Business Development Agency. It's been around for 25 years. Just last year, it existed, but didn't have any power behind it. Now it's been codified into law, given millions of dollars to help promote minority business development and help minority businesses do work with local, state, and federal government. They have training centers in 44 states. They provide training and technical assistance webinars. They help mentor and put minority businesses together with other businesses and minority businesses, so you get that past performance execution. So part of our action plan is to work with the Minority Business Development Agency, which, to be quite honest with you, Michelle, I did not know about until I got in this position. And what they're able to do is eliminate the refrain, oh, we can't find any qualified minority businesses. And what I come back to my contracting officers around the lab, and like, have you heard of the Minority Business Development Agency? Because I can bring to your doorstep qualified, past performance minority businesses that have done work at the local level, state level, or federal level. So no longer can you say to me, I can't find them. No, I can find them, and MBDA has it.
Absolutely.
We're also, within the action plan, we're trying to increase set-asides for minority businesses, because I think I'm preaching to the choir here. There's a lot of money flowing out there within the federal government, and there's opportunity for everyone. So underrepresented communities that maybe have not gotten a piece or share of the pie in the past to support the federal government, there are set-asides. We're looking to increase those set-asides so that you can get an opportunity to participate within business, within the federal government. The other thing that we're promoting, there are grants, cooperative agreements, and financial assistance. Let me say that again. Grants, cooperative agreements, and financial assistance that is part of the action plan that a lot of small businesses don't know about. We want to make them more aware. From the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure law to the new Inflation Reduction Act, just within the Department of Energy, we're going to have about 100 billion, would it be 100 billion, would it be again,
Wow.
money to go out as part of, not solely, but as part of the bill and IRA. And part of that will go and be subject to the equity action plan. And grants, cooperative agreements, and financial assistance are ways in which business and small businesses can get, if not an award, a grant, financial assistance to support your organization. And again, it is my job here within the IAEOZ, and this office has and will have, most important, money that they can can provide through grants and financial assistance. I didn't know about this office until last week.
Yes.
I learned about 2 months ago, we have another office that we're standing up within the Department of Energy. The office, it's OCED. I can't tell you what OCED means exactly, but I know their purpose is to assist and cut through the bureaucracy so that money makes it down to the local and state level. Their focus is to make sure that they help small businesses get money to the local and state level. And guess what, Michelle? They have money and grants to give out and assist.
Wow.
OCED, the Department of Energy, Office of OCED. I apologize. I said I wasn't going to talk too much in acronyms. I've already given you 3. But again, go to the Department of Energy's website, find the Office of OCED, and read up on it, because they have grants to assist small businesses in and awards to get money down to the state and local level. So that's one entity. The Office of Joint Energy and Transportation, new office, they're going to have funding. The Office of EERE, where most of our they're leading the charge around EV charging stations, and
yes,
they have
that's a huge opportunities there.
Huge opportunity. You saw the president talk about that in Detroit a couple of weeks ago. Between the Department of Energy, the Department of Transportation, and Environmental Protection Agency, they're looking to build and facilitate EV, like I want to say 5,000 EV stations built across the United States. Huge opportunity there, where you probably can find, not probably, where you can find awards from the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Transportation, and here at the Department of Energy. Those are the 3 federal agencies moving it. And you're right, Michelle. You have to prepare yourself and do the homework. And so I'm more than happy to help and assist. And it's my job to let you know of this, and anything that I'm saying here that's not registering, or you want further clarification, please contact me.
I've got your contact information on a slide after this, sir.
Yeah, and the small business at hq.doe.gov. We're going to make sure you do that and contact us, and we can help clarify and point you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
I apologize to ramble. I'm sorry.
No, sir. This is all good stuff. It's, what I love about Fireside Chats is that we get to dive deep on the things that we need to, because there is a lot of information. I'm going to keep saying that, but that information isn't necessarily translatable. And what these conversations do is provide insight. And you've given some tremendous insight into, some areas that people, at least I know I wasn't. And so when we think about, opportunities and businesses trying to prepare themselves for opportunities, right? I think one of the greatest things that people can do is prepare, because as a small business, a lot of these efforts are big efforts. I mean, they require, a lot of what I will call infrastructure, right?
Mm.
That some small businesses don't have. However, if there is a forecast of an opportunity coming, right? And it's going to be coming a year or two from now. What it allows small businesses to do is to prepare themselves to find partners, to ramp up their capabilities, right? And to be ready. So, can you talk about your efforts to increase and to improve, your forecast efforts there at DOE?
Yes, two things that we're doing, as I mentioned, in the procurement forecast, we're trying to standardize and simplify that. So that effort is going on, and the national labs around the country, they've embraced it with us and are participating in it to make sure that it's simplified. Two, one of the other things that we're doing here, we are embracing artificial intelligence and encouraging businesses when they contact us. There will be an opportunity for you, with the support of artificial intelligence, to put in your capability statement, the NAICS codes, the codes which describe what you can and what you can do, your past performance. So we're taking in that information, creating a small business capability library, sharing that with quote unquote the buyers, the contracting officers, so they are able to find those businesses capable of doing the bid that they're looking for. So they say, hey, I know I need to do more outreach toward women, service disabled, or minority business. You can identify yourself in there. That information is shared with them so they can filter that out as they do their market research to make sure that they are looking at a wide range of capable companies, and not just, and I don't mean this in a pejorative way, but not just the good old boys that they've been doing business with the last 15 years. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
this administration has said we're going to go from 7% to 15% by 2015 on the number of minority businesses that the federal government contracts with. Never been done before, never reached. This year, we will have gone from 5 to 11% in minority businesses in 2 years.
That's
People
huge.
don't know it, but that
That's
is
huge.
serious accomplishment. And we're not stopping there. The administration says, no, 11 is good. We want to be at 15% by 2025. So it's incumbent upon me and my office to share with the buyers, as we've been talking about, those qualified minority small businesses, getting assistance from MBDA and others, that the capability, artificial intelligence capability statement library is one of the ways that we can get there and promote those businesses out to the contracting offices and labs across the country.
Sir, I love what you're saying, because these are just monumental efforts. This is a season, a period of time in which this nation has never seen a country or federal government wide focused effort, uh, uh, that seeks to enable, minority and underserved community vendors.
Yes.
Having said that, though, one of the things that I try to remind, vendors of is regardless of all of those set asides and those certifications, the veteran, the woman, the minority, the hub zone, all of those things, this is not for the faint of heart. This even though there are OSDBUs across the entire federal government focused on this effort, there are, as you stated, executives whose performance plans and bonuses are contingent upon the success of this effort. Small businesses still must prepare. They
Yes, ma'am.
still must do the work, because I did a post, a LinkedIn post that said, there are no gimmies.
Yeah.
There are contracts are not given, they are won.
Yeah.
And even in that small business groupings of woman, veteran, minority, there's still competition. It's just not competition in this big pot. It's a competition in a smaller pot. But there is still competition. And so I want to encourage you to take advantage of all the things that Mr. Ron has said, all of the resources. And I'm going to put up a resource page here in a little bit, because we are about 10, 12 minutes from, I think really less than that now that I look at 40. We're about 6 minutes. We're going to finish at 11:45 and it's 11:39. I did want to ask if you wanted to talk about something that I think really is an enabler, a game changer for businesses, and that's the mentor protege program. When they can learn, when the old can teach the young, right? When the
Yeah.
successful can teach the aspiring. I did want to give you an opportunity to talk about that before we maybe take a few questions and close up.
Yeah, and I'll be brief. Let me just do, I see one question in the chat
Oh, is
from
there? Okay.
Riddell Napper. Uh, please contact my office, set up a capabilities meeting. We can spend 30 minutes to an hour understanding what your business does, maybe how to improve your capability statement and point you in the right direction. So I did want to address that.
Absolutely.
The MPP program that we have here, one of the things, another initiative that we're looking to improve, MPP stands for Mentor Protege Program. So a company, usually a prime that has been doing business with the federal government or DOE, takes on a smaller company and over 2 years helps teach them, to show them the ropes. What Michelle said prior to this question was profound: being prepared, being persistent, not willing to join others is important. Yeah, I can facilitate, I can point in the right direction, but as she said, it's not of the faint of heart. But the MPP, the Mentor Protege Program, can assist in that, because what, especially here in DOE, the culture is we want you to have some past performance. And if you've worked with a prime, or at least been a protege of a prime, to know how to do business, know how to speak the language, to prepare yourself to go for that award, to win that award, as Michelle said, is important. And you can get that from through the Mentor Protege Program. And there's staff members on my team that can share more about that. But I'm looking to double that. We usually take on about 40 to 50 proteges a year. I think we can double that. I think we can do much more, make sure that we're touching those communities and businesses that haven't been. And I'm of this belief, Michelle, if a prime gets a contract, 10 years, $100 million, you should be required. And I found out it's in my hands that I can change this program to take on proteges. And that's what I'm moving toward. I'll stop there, talk too long, and maybe take some more questions.
That is awesome. That is profound, because you know what's so profound about and critical and impactful about what you just shared, Mr. Ron, is that for many underserved community vendors, mentor protege and subcontracting is the on ramp. Think about a highway. You can't even get on the highway if you're not on the on ramp. You're on the local roads, right? You
Right,
don't get to go on those big four lanes that get you there real fast. And so, what you said about the mandate for some of these huge billion and $1 million, opportunities to have a mandate. And then, I want to say, something, and I'm going to put it in quotes because it's a GI quote of when I was in business for myself before I came into federal government. It sucks to sub, okay? And the reason it sucks to subcontract is because you may get the subcontract, but the profit margin, the prime cuts your profit margin so tight, and then there's all these changes that you don't really get to make the money. So I want to ask you, Mr. Ron, I know I'm putting you on the spot, that as you forge out this amazing vision, that there is some kind of way to put some stipulations. We can't tell the prime how much profit, but to put some kind of measures in there to ensure that these small businesses not only are getting a piece of the work, but they are getting profit revenue that they can keep, right? Which really is the catalyst of
right,
generating legacy wealth.
right,
So,
right.
we're going to go over probably a couple of minutes, but I did want to put up a chat back on the screen. Go ahead and talk, Mr. Ron. I'm just going to
Sure,
put on
sure.
the screen
Oh,
um,
on that
what we
case,
were talking about.
you were talking about the profit margin as a subcontractor. I I don't have the power to change that, but I do have the power to advocate. And we meet on a monthly basis with the small business administrator, where a lot of these directors come from, and I will bring that up uh, to them and see if there's some type of tweaking mandate or whatever that we can change that profit margin and sharing for subs, and maybe even within here, within within DOE. But unless you, if you don't ask, you'll never know if you can do. And I did ask, hey, can I change the MPP program? We said, well, it's not mandated, it's your program, you can do it. I'm like, oh, therefore I will. I don't know how long I'll be in this position, but while I'm here, when you find you have a little bit of power, you probably should use it. And that's what I'm going to use to change the MPP program within DOE and expand it.
Well, can you see my screen?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just can't tell you what a great time I had with you. These are some of the resources that Mr. Pierce, Mr. Ra was talking about. And, if you go to the events section, that's what's in there. If you go to the small business toolbox, that's what's there. And when he talked about reaching out to some of these programs and these funding opportunities, that's what's there. So, if you take a screenshot, you take a QR code with that on the screen, it'll take you right there. You won't have to look for it. And then, Mr. Ron and I want to stay connected with you. You can take a screenshot that'll take you to Mr. Ron's LinkedIn and my LinkedIn. And I'm going to let you have the last few words. But again, thank you for the honor to Keith Moore and the whole team that put this together. You, Mr. Ron, for just allowing me to have so much fun learning more about you as a leader. And I will tell you that the Department of Energy small business community is in great hands, and they're so blessed to have you. And with that, I'll let you have the last words. Thank you again.
My last word, and I put it here on my desk in front of me to make sure we're going to be sharing a lot more of this information. So one, visit our website, send an email to, again, that's smallbusiness@hq.doe.gov. Go to the events page, because on November 9th, we are hosting here at the Department of Energy, in person and virtual, doing business with the Department of Energy, focused primary on service disabled veterans, but any small business can join. Again, you can come here to DOE 1000 Independence, right across the street from the Smithsonian Castle in our auditorium, or virtually. Sign up November 9th. We will be sharing insights, how to prepare yourself, but more importantly, tangible opportunities within the next 3 months to 12 months of opportunities across the country that you can bid on, that you and your team can join with others and bid on. If nothing else, I'm supposed to put in front of you opportunities, and we're going to be doing that on November 9th. Please sign up and register. And Michelle, it's been a pleasure to have this fireside chat with you, and look forward to continuing our collaboration.
Likewise, sir. Thanks for all you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been blessed to spend time, get insight into the heart of America's, one of America's great, not only patriots with his military service, but a civilian servant. And if you don't take this opportunity to find more and to utilize their resources, what more can I say? You had the opportunity. Let's seize it. Let's get after it, because the money and the opportunity is there. Have a good afternoon, and thank you, and have a good blessings to you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye-bye.